Well, Eskil Nudhug. I don't know if I killed that or not today, but it doesn't matter because what people have to know is staybl.com. STAYBL cam, CAM.com. And people can go there and find the neatest thing to use for their iPhone so they don't look like some drunken sailor making a movie.
That's right. That's right.
And you invented this Steadicam kind of thing
Yes.
that makes you like a professional photographer from Hollywood when you're videotaping your dog.
That's this thing right here.
That thing. Well, open it up. Show what that
All right.
expands
Yeah.
to.
You put your
That's
cell
the-
phone on there, and yeah, you basically hold it by this gyroscopic handle, and you get really
Well,
steady.
pull
with
the
it.
thing down because it's a little hard to, the other part, so that the
And so you have
gyroscope.
basically like this. It stretches out, and
Yeah.
you collapse it together like that. And, it's
And
like
then and then when you hold that little ring in the middle, that makes it float,
Yeah,
right? And
absolutely.
so there's
it gives you all the control here. You got, you
yeah,
you-
and now
and you can use it
Wow.
upside down too. If you hold it upside down, you can get really down close to the
so you
know.
get down to dog level and really
Right.
get the front.
little kids and dogs and cats and yeah.
That's incredible. Yeah. So, what made you think of this? I mean, you just want to get pictures of your kids better, or you just
Yeah, basically, you got a little tired of seeing all this video. You watch shows like America's Funniest Videos, or you watch YouTube. You get all these people walking around with their cell phones, and they're like,
Right.
doing this. And it's really jittery and shaky, and it's real hard to watch sometimes. And for myself, I wanted to try to make better videos, on my kids and everything else. So, and I couldn't really find anything that was out there that could. I mean, there are stabilizers out there, but they're meant for the more professional market or more the heavier cameras and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there wasn't really anything for the iPhones and smartphones and stuff like that.
And this is a reasonable price. I mean, like $70 on Kickstarter now. Yeah. So it's like the video card is almost as much that I get in my camera.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of them out there, but they're really expensive. And a lot of them, for several $100s and stuff. So this one comes in at a more reasonable price point, I think, for most people.
And you could use it with a GoPro also, with those little
Yes, you
cameras.
can. Yeah,
right?
you can actually take this top here off. This comes off here, and you just take it off, and you put
and
your
put the GoPro on there. Yeah.
any camera,
Because-
like compact cameras, you just screw it on there, and
So actually, it makes it easier, I think, to do video selfies.
yes, it does. Yes, it does.
So now you have a device that makes it anybody can do a video selfie
Right. Yes.
and walk down the street doing your own selfie and not
Yep.
make it look like you get the top of the head, the bottom of the toes, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. There's if you look at the video we have on Kickstarter, you can see examples of that. I'm walking around with it, and you can see it's pretty.
Yeah. No, I mean, you in the woods. I mean, that's why people, if anything, even if you don't buy this thing, you really got to see the video, like how bad, normal videos are. And when you compare them to something that uses a Steadicam.
You get
I mean,
seasick.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you really have to work at watching those things otherwise.
Yeah.
And I guess we become used to it in a way. We don't realize how difficult it is. But when you have a good one, could you imagine a 2-hour movie being like that?
Boy, yeah.
You would never sit through it. Yeah. So this
Right.
is ingenious. Yeah.
And some of the newer phones too, they do have some kind of stabilization built in, like software, but
yeah.
it works to some degree. But it's not, you can't really make up for too much of shaking, anyways.
No, I know my camera says, something like, oh, it's shaking or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, big deal.
Yeah.
It doesn't do much. It's just sort of warning or something. It's still, my arm's connected here. And it's really that gyroscope in the device that you have, I guess, that makes that floating thing. And,
Yeah, it helps you. Your hand kind of holds it and make sure the arm kind of stays stable, where you can also control it with your fingers and you can tilt it. And
I see.
all
And
kinds
that's
things
because
like
of the weights on both ends. In the
it's
gyroscope.
essentially weight balancing, physics that come into play there. That's,
I see. So you need math to understand it. Well, as long as it works.
it works. Yeah.
That's the important thing. Wow. And so other things, I mean, you've been an inventor for a while or an entrepreneur, and in Norway you had a software business or a internet company and all this kind of thing.
I did, yeah. I started a web hosting company in 2004.
Wow. Did we have them back then? I don't even
Yeah, they were around, but I did pretty well. And Yeah, but I always kind of wanted to invent stuff. And as a kid, I used to try to create new things out of Legos and build things that didn't exist as a Lego kit and stuff like that. And I always have this the mindset of trying to create something and make something interesting. And so yeah, when I started looking for stabilizers for phones, I figured, well, man, maybe I'll try to build something, and see if I can get it to work.
Is this the first time you built something to try to turn it into a business?
Yeah. It's actual first time. I mean, I built some stuff for hobby and stuff for myself, but this is the actual, first product that I wanted to make.
And so already you have $50,000, and you're just starting. And you said you made like in 8 days you made your quota of $35,000 to make sure this is sold. So now you know for sure it's going to be sold and everything already.
We reached funding in 8 days on Kickstarter, so that was really good.
Right.
Yeah.
So what would have been the alternative if you didn't use the crowdfunding, you think? How would you have done it?
Yeah, okay, so we get asked that sometimes. And, again, it's not all about the money, but of course the money is nice too. But the reason we went for Kickstarter is that partially the money thing, but partially also you get a lot of feedback and you get a lot of exposure as well on Kickstarter. It's a really big site. And there's a lot of enthusiastic people on there who are, eager to contribute or make a product better or input to you, so you can really get a lot of good feedback on your products. It's a good community, and of course the exposure Kickstarter has as well is really it's grown huge the last few years, and so there's several reasons why we decided on Kickstarter, because there's other crowdfunding sites too, and like Indiegogo and those sites, and they're great, I'm sure. But, we just decided on Kickstarter because they're the biggest, I think, and has a really enthusiastic following.
So in other words, you got more out of it than just the money. I mean, you got the feedback from customers and maybe distributors contacting you and all this other kind of stuff.
That's another benefit. You get more exposure and you get seen by investors and distributors. And, so we've been contacted by actually a couple of investors already interested in it. And,
really? Wow.
Yeah. And distributors, of course, people want to resell it in their country, different parts of the world actually contacted us, and magazines, and so it's
that alone is how would you would cost you thousands and thousands of dollars to find all that stuff.
Right, yeah. I mean, you could probably do that, but it will take you so much longer
to
get things.
No, even if you didn't make all this money on it, it would still be worth it just to get all those contacts, right?
Yeah.
And because it's just a matter of setting up the website. I mean, it's not a capital investment, in anything besides your product, right?
Yeah. You want to set it up as good as you can too. The campaign has to look nice and look informative, and you have to present yourself well, and that's another big part of it. But I think as long as you have a good product that people are interested in, it's you don't really have to you don't have to really sell so much. Like you don't have to push and sell something.
You mean like me? Hey, call now. We'll throw in some steak knives. No, you're right. And I think it's because the audience is really looking for something unique, and you're providing something unique, and it sells itself. And as long as you're presentable. Right. Well, that's wonderful. Well, Lesko, I'm glad you're there. I'm glad you're in this country creating new ideas for the rest of us, and we don't have these shaky, family videos anymore that are so hard to see. And to get your product while it's in crowdfunding on Kickstarter, you go to Stable, STAYBLCAM.com, right?
That's right. Yep.
Okay, well, wonderful. Well, thank you for being there, and say hello to your kids, okay?
All right, I will. Thank you for having me.
You bet. Take care.
Alrighty.